Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live just in time for the start of the first game, which is Tottenham against Brighton. We've got a double watch along for you tonight. We're doing Arsenal against West Ham as well, so you're very, very welcome on the show. I hope you're doing well. They've literally just started the game between Spurs and Brighton, so I will go through that one for you very, very quickly. Just need to get it up on my screen, actually, he says. I think have we got a goal here already? I think we've got a goal already. We've got a goal here already. No, they were just having a little hug. I thought we'd seen a goal. Yeah, no, we've not seen a goal. They were just all hugging Richarlison. I thought we'd seen a goal there already. Incredible stuff, but we haven't. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We haven't seen a goal yet. Which means I was on time. Which is always good. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped. 20% off with the code FOOTY. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Fantastic products. We'll talk about them in a minute. Links in the description. Or scan the QR code. If you don't know what Manscaped is, it's for down there. It's for you. I need to use it around my face, actually. Not that one down there. They've got a beard trimmer and they've got a handyman and all sorts, that which I'll talk about in a moment. But let me get the stats carousel running around for you so you can see the start of this game. We haven't seen a goal, don't worry about that. But we'll start giving you the team news in a minute, and I'm going to get the timer running because I haven't done that, and it will be wrong on your screen at the moment because we've had nearly a minute already. We have a half time. This should coincide quite nicely with the start of the Arsenal game, so we should be in a position to flick between the two and certainly keep an eye on the two, which would be great. There's not been a goal here, so don't listen to Wizard. He's a prat. HPN is still depressed about Villa. But let me just go through the team news for you because obviously we've got Arsenal against West Ham coming up for you at 8:15. It's got 45 minutes for that. Steele is in goal for Brighton. He likes to change things around. Hinchelwood, Van Heck, Dunk and De Paulo. Gilmore, Milner and Gross in the midfield. And then Pedro, Buonate and Welbeck. So more changes. Ferguson's on the bench. Dawood's on the bench. Verbruggen, Lallana, Estebanan. Still got a lot of players out injured. Solly March, Enciso, etc, etc. Spurs, Vicario, Porro, Emerson Royale, Davies, Adogi, Sarr, Højbjerg, Johnson, Kulusevski, Son and Richarlison. So a strong front four for Spurs. I'd fancy them to win this game, to be fair. I just don't think Brighton are having a very good season, really. And but big changes coming as well, isn't there? I saw that, I don't know how long Son goes for, but he's off to the Asia Cup, isn't he? Which I completely forgot. I know about the AFCON, but I completely forgot about that. Have you got the Arsenal team news, Mark? Yes, we have. The Arsenal team news is as follows. You've got Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Rice, Trossard, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli. Strong team. Areola, Kufal, Mavropanos, Ogbonna, Emerson, Alvarez, Soucek, Ward-Prowse, Kudus, Paqueta and Bowen. I think that's an interesting game. I mean, I'd fancy Arsenal, but I think it's an interesting game. So Eric Ten Hag says you're way behind. I mean, I really couldn't give a shit, to be honest. Well done you if you're ahead. This is the problem. I don't like Amazon Prime. I'm probably in the minority. I don't like Amazon Prime because it's, at least with Sky and TNT, it comes through a cable or a satellite and you are pretty much up to date. With Prime, it's a streaming service which is just, can be 30 seconds, 10 seconds. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it when people are ahead and behind and stuff like that. But if you want to sync in with us, my clock is the same as what I'm getting on the screen at the moment, which is 3 minutes and 40. Apparently this is Amazon's last year, says Jamer. Yeah, I thought that they would go back in and try and get a better deal, but apparently not. Borge says, West Ham won Man U easily, but Arsenal is real soccer team. Yeah, English ain't your strongest point, is it, mate? I can't take any banter seriously from somebody who's struggling to construct a sentence. At least use Google Translate. There's no excuse anymore. Oh, the Spurs brown kit is horrible. I do like, Lewis, I do like the fact that you can switch games. And you don't even, I mean, I will have 2 games running simultaneously in a moment because I've got 2 screens. Do you think Arsenal are going to win the league? I think Man City are going to win the league. Good move by Danny Welbeck down the wing. You know what my issue with Brighton is? Danny Welbeck. Good save by Vicario. That was good play by Brighton. My interest. I don't know. Brighton are playing well, says Nick. My issue with Brighton is, and I don't know whether Brighton fans feel like this. I don't feel like there's any continuity with Brighton. I feel like he changes 5 or 6 players every single game, including his goalkeeper. So I think it's very hard to build progress with Brighton when he changes his team so often. Like, Matoma is Matoma injured, or is he actually playing tonight? I forgot. I'm sure I said he wasn't playing. I don't think Matoma is playing tonight, unless I'm an idiot. No, he's not. No, he's not, and he's not even on the bench. So I don't know what the story is with Matoma at the moment. I presume he's injured. Right, he's injured. Another injury for Brighton. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? He's out for 3 or 4 weeks. Bloody hell. Yeah, I think Brighton. I spoke about Brighton on the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast a few weeks ago, and I said I think this season is turning into a write-off in the Premier League for Brighton. I think they're going to drift to somewhere between 8th and 12th. Vicario is insane. Yeah, I think they are going to drift because they're going to have to focus on the Europa League. I think from day one, they've struggled with injuries, haven't they? Cracking save from Welbeck, though, wasn't it, from Vicario? He probably should score, if I'm being honest. You know where Welbeck goes wrong there? From a striker to a striker, he's got to go the other corner. He's got to go in the other corner. If he goes the other corner, Vicario's body weight can't shift. Podcast back tomorrow, mate. Tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. It's a good one as well. Good mix of football and Christmas and stuff. Yeah, good to have the podcast back. Thanks to everyone who supports it. Goldbridge Saves Football out tomorrow. Hi, Mark. How you doing? Hope family as well, says Man United fan for life. Yeah, you know what? It is, and I hope everyone else is as well. I've got to be honest. I never used to be a big fan of the week between Christmas and New Year, and I think this is one of the best ones I've had in ages in relation to just chilling out and, you know, doing a few bits and bobs. And I've got some stuff on tomorrow. Man United play Saturday, and then New Year's Eve. So, yeah, I've enjoyed it. I hope everyone else has as well. Arsenal are the only team not to have an injury crisis, says CRF Guitar. Well, I think Arsenal have had a couple of injuries, haven't they? I mean, Timber springs to mind. But I think the Brighton one is arguably worse than anybody's because it's just been so consistent. They seem to pick one up every couple of weeks. Kevin's back at work tomorrow. Yeah, my mate was back at work today and tomorrow, and then he's off Tuesday, Wednesday. When I used to work in a normal office job, I always used to go in 2 days Christmas in between because no one was ever in the office. There was never anything to do, and you always got to go home early. World-class save, says Reg. Yes. Newcastle's injury list is worse than Brighton's. I don't think it is, Dom. I don't think it is. Jim says, when are you going back to work, Goldbridge? What do you think I'm doing at the moment? I'm not laying an egg. Thanks to Gems, who says, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yep, thanks, Gems, and thanks everyone who does. Pranav wants FC24 to come back. There's a chance that it will come back. I just spoke to so many people over Christmas, and they really do not like the game. They've messed it up, I think. Mark, either or, Son or Salah, says Mariam. We've been asked this before. It's not worth doing because Salah is better than Son. I think everybody, like the proper streamers who do EA, like Castro and Pieface and that, I think even then they've seen a massive drop-off. Anyone that loses hates FIFA. The game is fine, says Sebastian. I don't think it is. My answer to that elitism, Sebastian, is that I've lost games on every FIFA. And this one is crap. Nearly 8,000 watching already. Please do subscribe. Good start to the game. Brighton should actually be winning. It was a great chance for Welbeck, and not for the first time this season. Vicario, the difference. Good play here by Brighton. This should be 1-0. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. And I tell you what, I don't know who it is who gets the assist, but it's absolutely brilliant. And that's the young lad, isn't it? Hinshelwood. With the goal, but the build-up play is magnificent, absolutely magnificent. Quick feet. I didn't see who it was, but that's deserved. That's absolutely deserved. I mean, Hinshelwood's just smashed the shit out of it. Thunderstruck, but look at this. Don't worry about that. That's not offside. Look at the skill there. Does really, really well. Onside there as well. I just blast the shit out of it. Who is that there? Is that Pedro? Was that Pedro with the build-up? Yeah, it was. Pedro, brilliant. I tell you what, there's a lot to be said for just putting your foot through the ball there. 1-0 Brighton. And they deserve it. They deserve it. I won't hear anything else. Lovely quick feet by Pedro, though. Don't necessarily associate that with him. 1-0. Well, from a United point of view, Spurs dropping points would be quite nice. Mouldy bread looks better than Spurs kit, says Kenneth. I think apparently it was modelled on that. Come on, you Gunners. Got to keep up the momentum. Also nice to see Spurs struggling again, says Kieran. And Mark, the FC24 algorithm is all wrong and certain players are too overpowered. The gaming industry agrees with this too, says Martin. What players are overpowered? Give people some tips. But as we know, Spurs currently, some people think they're in a title race. Their next few games in the Premier League look like this. They've got Bournemouth at home on Sunday. They then play Man United away and Brentford at home. That's their next 3 games before they play Everton away and Brighton at home as well. So interesting for Spurs. How long are they going to lose Son for as well? But it's been a bad start to the game here for Spurs. There's no two ways about it. Definitely not been a very good start from Spurs. Can you show us the league table, Mark? I certainly can. Michael says, no one thinks we're in a title race. Half our team is out. And Son will be gone for 2 or 3 weeks. I think he does miss the Man United game, David, yes. My FPL team is absolutely battered. I've done okay. But still got a lot of people out. That's a terrible ball out. How many chances did Brighton concede from trying to play out from the back? This could be another one, but they'll clear it away. Zeemish has given up on FPL. I'm not far off, mate. I'm not far off. Son's going off to the Asia Cup. Yeah. I need to pump my balls up. They do go down, you know. My tree's coming down soon. When do you take your tree down? The tree will be going down soon. Doesn't feel like long enough that it's been up. I love the tree. Love the tree. I don't understand why people are so quick to shut down the Super League. Also, games are played home and away, not in Sydney or Saudi Arabia, says Dennis. You're very naive, Dennis, but thank you very much for your super chat. Zippy takes his Christmas tree down on Boxing Day. You miserable shit, Zippy. I think the best time of the year for your tree to be up is the time between Christmas and New Year. I think it's got to be down by the 6th of Jan. Which is a week tomorrow, is it? No, you're wrong, Goldbridge. You're wrong. The 6th is Saturday. Surely. No. Yeah. I've got another week yet. Take it down on the weekend then, the 6th. Yabba dabba doo. Al Jabbar's keeping his tree up for the entire of January. Oh, good shot again and a good save. Vicario. New word for 2024 is varsicle, says Ash. And what's sadder, the tree coming down or Scooby-Doo going off the shelf, says Jude Forsyth. Yeah, he's going to have to go in the box, Scooby. He's going to have to go in the box. I'm not killing him. He's not getting buried, but yeah, he's going to have to go in a box. The Christmas box. Hi, Mark. Just wanted to ask you, did you have a good Christmas and did you see a pic of your dinner? Did see a pic of your dinner, which looked amazing, says Kieran. It was a lovely dinner. Probably the best Christmas dinner I've had. It was. I can't fault it. It was great. First one with the Yorkshire pudding as well. Dewey says he takes his Christmas tree down on New Year's Eve. Taking your Christmas tree down on New Year's Eve is like your missus saying, come on, let's do it. And you going, I'm going to have a bath. You can't take it down on Christmas Eve. It's a great backdrop to a New Year's Eve party. Boo, you miserable git. Take it down the day after New Year's Day if you want to, but mine will be going down on Saturday the 6th. Here's Spurs. Oh, good interception. Hi, Mark. As a Chelsea fan, I love the channel. Did you hear about Inter being bankrupt? Do you think Chelsea be good again? Says UFC Guardian. I thought that was a myth that Inter were bankrupt. I thought Inter said they nearly went bankrupt, but selling Brozovic and Onana kept them alive, and they're doing better now. I mean, if Inter are going bankrupt, why is no one going to buy Barella? Murph says, hi Mark from Australia. I love the content. Always up for it's nearly 4 a.m. for me, says Murph. Good morning then, or a late evening, Murph. Hope you're doing well. Do you enjoy the darts, Mark, says Jordan. I haven't watched it as much this year. Can you do Celtic versus Rangers on Saturday, says Mackenzie. No, I can't. Is the honest answer. And Farm says, as a Villa fan, it was a great game on Tuesday. Fair play to Hoyland. Where do you think Man United are going to finish? Probably 6th or 7th, I think. I don't think we'll get top 5. Zippy says that darts player is never 16. I know who you're talking about. And Fizzy says James Milner is bossing the midfield at 38. Have you seen the new Reacher show on Amazon, says Dylan? No, I've got so much to watch. So much to watch. Tim says he was at the Ali Pally last week and he's still recovering. Another corner here for Brighton. It's in and around. Oh, it's hit the post. It's hit the post. Now, Brighton, they've got to surround the referee here. Oh, it doesn't work like it did for Man City. Yeah, the referee didn't... Yeah, you're not Man City, mate. He's not changed his mind. The Brighton players did the right thing there. Surrounded the referee looking for a penalty. But they're not Man City, so referee and linesman don't take any notice. We've not seen a replay. And... I don't know whether it was a penalty or a handball because we only saw it in real time. Oh, this might be trouble. This might be trouble. He stopped it. He stopped it. Let's have a look. Here we go. Here's the replay. I don't know where the handball is. Oh, he's pulled his shirt. Pulled his shirt. Yeah. That's a blatant... it's not a handball. It's a blatant penalty, that is. Blatant. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. Brighton have had a few injustices in their experiences with VAR, but he's got to give this. It's like a bloody bungee jump. Look, he's pulling him back. What's Kulusevski thinking? I don't know what he's thinking. Thank you, Mark. You make life a little more better, says Ankit. Hope you're doing well. I don't know why they're taking so long to look at this. How many views of this do you need, you big prat? Yeah, fucking hell, get on with it, mate. Penalty given. And it's blatant. It's a blatant penalty here. Kulusevski, the Phantom of the Opera. He's got a mask on. Well... Phantom of the Prat, because he's a prat. That's a clear penalty. I don't know what it is. It's a strong rush of blood to the head there. And yeah, can he argue with it? And 2-0 is going to be a hard comeback for Spurs. Spurs are struggling here. Right, Pedro's going to take it. Brighton, of course. I mean, look, Brighton are only a point behind Man United if they win tonight. Pedro to take it. Goal and an assist. He's a good pick. Very good pick if you've got him in your FPL. Yeah, well taken. Bottom corner, 2-0. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. Very good start from Brighton. I was just going to show you the stats, actually. Remember, the Stats Carousel is sponsored by OneFootball, which you can download for free. Get all your football transfer news and latest news on the OneFootball app. Download it through Apple and Android. And 8 shots to 1 for Brighton. 5 shots on target to 0. This is domination. Absolute domination. Spurs have had more of the ball. But it's a dominant performance from Brighton. And... you can't deny that. Mark, my girlfriend is a nonce. Says Dominic. I don't know how that works. And I need Spurs to win for a £712 ACCA, says Khaled. Say hello, goodbye. You ain't getting a Spurs win tonight, mate. I can tell you that for free. Brighton have got the tails up. This could be a bad night for Spurs. I don't know why. I mean, you'd look at the team news and you'd think Brighton are quite fragmented. But Pedro's had a good game and he's scored 7 out of 7 penalties this season. Goldbridge jinx incoming, says Ryan. Look, you never say never, but I don't see anything from Spurs at the moment that's going to worry anybody. Is it over for Big Ange? Oh, shut the fucking hell up, you fucking can't. Great job for United, says Ibo. Goals change matches, says Tough Fan. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Thanks for all your support on That's Football. I was working on all day I've been working on something today, which won't see the fruits of the labour until August next year. What could that be? No one will ever guess. Give your mum a pearl necklace or fight a piranha, says Philip. Oh, Philip, you've got a sick mind. I don't know why I read this stuff. So basically, wank on your mum's chest or fight a piranha. I'll fight a piranha, thanks. On land. If Brighton do us a favour and Bournemouth on Sunday, this leaves United 2 points adrift of Spurs if we beat Forest, says Slow Sports News. There you go. And start bench sell, Kudus, Kulusevski, Matoma. I would start Matoma, I would sell Kudus, and I would bench Kulusevski, Oscar. But I think that's a very good 3. Aiden takes his tree down in March. Why? I'm with Rich. What's one piranha going to do? If it's in a swimming pool, it's getting battered, actually. Have you seen how piranhas attack? They only take a little bite. And I'll say bite my arm, and when it does, I'll grab the fucker, and then I'll snap it in two and say, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? You bitey little bastard. I really got into that, actually. This is why I should be an actor. In 2024, if you're a producer, give me an acting job. Get me in Kin Series 3 in Dublin. I'll be like I can put an accent on. I'll be a gangster. There's more to Ireland than this, you fucking bastard. You're a bastard, you are. Urgh. How do I knock some sense in my girlfriend about football, says Dominic. You don't knock anybody in sense. Oh, great cross. And no one gets on the end of it for Spurs. I love your channel, mate, even though I'm from Liverpool, says Neil. Mark says, who wins, Bambi with a machete or Paddington Bear with an Uzi? Well, Bambi's a deer. And well, Paddington wins because Bambi's dead. Oh, no, that's the mum. Bambi is a deer, so can't hold a machete because it's got hoofs. Whereas Paddington can hold an Uzi because he can hold a marmalade sandwich. So I'm afraid Bambi is going to get pumped with a load of lead. And not in a sex way, in a Uzi way. 2-0 to Brighton here. They're doing well. Podcast's out tomorrow, Moses. Goldbridge Saves Football. It's a cracker. It's back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hi, Mark. What do you think about Bayer Leverkusen this season, and where do you think Xavi Alonso will go next? Greetings from Germany. I don't think he'll end up at Man United because he's a Liverpool legend. I don't think he may end up at Liverpool at some point, but that would depend on how long Klopp's going to take. HMH says, start, bench, sell. Kudus, Doku or Martinelli? Well, sell Doku. I think he's overrated. Martinelli, I'd start, and Kudus I'd put on the bench. I've watched the Beckham documentary, Daisy. Yes, very, very good. Apart from the dance at the end, which I thought was a bit cringe. I will do a Super Bowl watch-along, Chloe, yes. Cross comes in from Brighton. Headed away by Spurs. Arsenal kick off in 15 minutes. Yeah. Let me just draw your attention to Manscaped. They're sponsoring the show tonight. If you don't know what Manscaped are, we've had a long relationship with Manscaped for many years on That's Football in the United Stand. Basically, Manscaped is precision engineering for your family jewels. It's the leader in male grooming. They've got the beard trimmer, 11 different lengths to do your little beards. You got the brand new, actually, Handyman. This is like a traditional old shaver, which will make you clean shaven. I mean, I use it around these areas, but I don't want to be clean shaven, so I just do it around here, a little bit around here, around the edges. Really does a really good job, but it'll clean shave you if you want to. The Handyman is very handy, and I tell you what, Caroline loves the sound. I don't know why she loves the sound. You've also got the lawn mower, which is for down there. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger, obviously. Trim round your bits, makes it look bigger. And then you've got the weed whacker for up your nose. Which I can do live on air, and actually it did need doing. Oh, yeah. It'll come to a time near you. You can get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. These products are absolutely fantastic. Give Manscaped a try. Scan the QR code next to me or go through the link in the description. I do need a proper shave for tomorrow. Mark, have you seen how big a goldfish can get in the wild, says Oliver. No. And you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, Bambi, says Sam Preston. Thoughts on Peter Rabbit, says Dominic. He's a little twat. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Running around in a blue fucking coat, nicking carrots and cabbages from the garden of a farmer who ate your dad. Like, literally killed your dad, put him in a pie, and you're mocking him by nicking his carrots. I think we all know who the winner is. Running around in a blue jacket, nicking carrots off the guy who ate your dad in a pie. I think the real winner is McGregor. I mean, Peter Rabbit needs to toughen up a bit. Stop nicking his carrots, climb into his room in his sleep and chew his face off and then shit in it. Nicking carrots. He killed your dad. Jay says, Mark, what do you think about Van Dijk this season? He's the only defender who hasn't been dribbled past. He's playing very well this season. Playing very well this season. Brighton just hit the post, by the way. Almost 3-0. Milner with the shot. Keeper was beaten. Thuds the post. Lovely shot. I fancied Spurs before this game. I did. I really, really did. Just shows you the unpredictability of the Premier League. Train says Brighton are all over Spurs. Louis says Black Bear versus Mark with a pocket knife. I'm going to lose, but Son. I got him in my FPL. It wasn't Son. It was Brennan Johnson, and he was bloody greedy. He did screw that up, James. I mean, all he's got to do with his first touch is square this. Oh, he's a right greedy shit there. I tell you what, if I was Son, I'd walk up to him and I'd wag my finger at him. And that's another good chance, but it's headed wide by Sarr. Had two players to play in there, Brennan Johnson, and just was completely and utterly selfish, if we're being honest. 10 minutes till Arsenal West Ham kicks off. We'll have that on for you as well. I can keep an eye on two games. I've done it before and I'll do it again. What else was I going to say? I know. Tell you what, I've been brewing up. I don't want to be crude here, but I've been brewing up a crap all day. And just haven't done it. And on that bombshell. No, I just keep getting an urge to have one, and then I'm a bit busy, and then I think I have got time to have one now, and it disappears. How is that not a pass back? Well, they ignore that rule. Selfish players do my head in, says Cameron. He's not happy. Heat or Goodfellas, says Shane. Definitely Heat. Definitely Heat. Apparently Paqueta has limped out of the West Ham warm-up. That'll be a big blow for them. And Sean says, why did the cow kick Nelly in the belly in the barn? Something my Irish drunk uncle used to ask me when I was a kid. Don't know, Sean. Bum, 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 ba-dum. I think Spurs could get back into this, but they've got to score the next goal. I don't know why they... Why? What? I don't understand why the back pass rule is ignored. I've just tweeted it there. I mean, it's a blatant back pass. This should be... Oh, what a goal. Is he offside? Yeah, he's offside. It would have been a Brighton goal, by the way. Lovely bit of play. I presume he's going to be miles off. Yeah. It's a good line by Spurs. They get it right. They do get it right. Do 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 do. Greeting you with a view to a kill. Right, I've got both games on the go here. This is good. Brighton are brilliant tonight. And Lou says that Paqueta has been cleared to play. That's good news for West Ham. Got two screens on the go here. Did you find any talent at the Manchester show in the end? Has not seen anything mentioned, says Glennie. No, we had to postpone it, mate. Because we had to get the... we couldn't get the venue early enough to do it. Son has a shot blocked. It's a big block, says Amusing Amp. I'm conflicted. I mean, I never really want Arsenal to win, but in relation to the title race, if Arsenal and Villa and Liverpool don't keep winning, then Man City are just going to win the league. So I sort of begrudgingly want Liverpool, Arsenal and Villa to keep winning. Kevin says piranhas attack in packs. Yeah, but it was one piranha. It wasn't two or three, it was one. Apparently it's been confirmed that Paqueta has been replaced. And he's been replaced by Benrahma. So he's not playing now. They're in the tunnel in that game. I've got a good setup tonight. It's got Spurs, Brighton here, and then literally an inch to my left is another screen where I've got Arsenal. So they're almost in the same eye line. I think this is the best setup I've had. Very, very good. I think Villa's problem is their away form. Paqueta is starting for West Ham. I'm literally looking at him in the tunnel. I've got the Arsenal game on. Jamila, don't worry about that. Of course, Declan Rice against his old club. Looking very serious in the tunnel. Doesn't need to be like that. You don't need to be like that, Declan. They give you a career, mate. Don't need to be staring straight on. You can look at them and acknowledge them. Michael Oliver's the ref. You know Ben White? Apparently Ben White doesn't watch football. He just plays it. He doesn't watch it. He doesn't actually... I don't know what I think about that. I don't know what I think about that. He doesn't watch football, apparently. He doesn't like football, says Harry. It's weird, isn't it? Imagine being a professional footballer, but you don't like it. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. Floyd says it's like somebody who doesn't like money winning the lottery. No, it's like a porn star not liking sex. Waste of time. Brighton can school anyone if they're in the mood, says Tun. I think Brighton's problem is that they constantly concede goals. I don't know whether anyone's got the stat, but they don't have many clean sheets. Well, you're right, Joshua. He obviously likes it enough to go and earn money. Aberrell says Declan Rice is a bit unlikable. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but very good player. He's definitely up there for signing of the season, as far as I'm concerned. I think he's had a very, very good season. We're on the road to 82,000, by the way. We're only 300 away, so please do subscribe to the channel. The Arsenal game is about to start against West Ham. And 2-0 to Brighton. Spurs on the attack here. They could do with a goal before half-time. Look at the midfield and defence. It's shocking, says Mario. For who? Where do you think Bournemouth are going to finish, says AFCB? Probably mid-table. Have you read Anonymous Footballer books? He didn't like football, says Mark. Secret Footballer. I've read that. Dewey says Brighton have actually got 0 clean sheets this season. It's all about to get a bit confusing on the stats carousel. But we'll go with it. Another chance. Oh, what a save by Vicario. Another wonder save by Vicario. It should have been 3-0. Brighton in a one-on-one situation. And a fantastic save. We've kicked off between Arsenal and West Ham as well. That high line of Spurs getting them into all sorts of trouble. It's a bad second touch. It's a good save. Pedro. I don't think Pedro does great with that. Vicario is incredible this season, though. I've got the Arsenal game on. Man United for life. Don't worry about it. We're about to hit half-time here. Five minutes in the Brighton game. Ward-Prowse just had a shot over the bar. I'll switch the clocks at half-time on the Arsenal game. Brighton are in again. Should have passed it. Majestic Hero says, Angel, die on his sword. Brennan Johnson. Richarlison. Oh, I think he hit the foot of the post. Winston says, Tottenham's back four is a bloody nightmare. Is Vicario the best goalkeeper this season, says Zeph? I still think it's Alisson. In my humble opinion. Right, I'm just setting the clock to the Arsenal game here. Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, says Danny Boy. I'm more of a Street Fighter person. Right, there's your timer for Arsenal. Maddison is missing Tottenham so much, says Mohammed. Dan's a Chelsea fan. Any specific strikers you think that Chelsea should target? Well, I don't think Osman goes in January, does he? But I think he's the man that Chelsea should go for. I've got a feeling they might go for someone like Ivan Toney. I like the balance of Arsenal's midfield tonight. I don't like Havertz, Odegaard, and Rice. They've got Trossard tonight. Lovely little ball into Saka. Not a very good shot. Straight at the keeper. Havertz is suspended, Mark. That's why he's not playing, says Joshua. Well, suspension or not, I'd prefer it without him. Having lost to West Ham last weekend, feels a lot longer than 5 days ago. Having lost to West Ham last weekend, they'll give you a lot of the ball and they'll counter-attack. When's Cobra Kai coming out, Graham Souness? You've played the game. When's it coming out? Brighton still looking to probe here. Now it's Spurs. Good tackle. Solanke's the new Tony. It's his year, says Meals. He's doing fantastically well at the moment. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that at all, mate. Nice ball over the top to Welbeck again. Brighton definitely looking for the third. I think they can get it as well. Saka with a cross. Areola tipped it away. What would you do if you were Ramsdale, says Tim? Oh, you leave, don't you? You make like a tree and leave because Reyes is number one. Odegaard is cooking and Arsenal are about to score, says Nigel. I always feel that Odegaard plays better when Havertz is not on the pitch. I did my presents yesterday, Jack. I can't go and get them again. They're not in the room. It's half time at Brighton. Son just had a shot, and that was half time. Still, I think it's still in the balance between Spurs and Brighton. 2-0. Just feels like the next goal will be the killer, or it will allow Spurs back into the game. I've played the game. What's been your film of 2023? Says Mark. Says Connor. You know what I did? I did enjoy Oppenheimer. I know it's a bit obvious, but I did quite enjoy it. Best film I saw in the cinema this year, probably Pulp Fiction. I know it's not a new film, but I got to see it in the cinema in the summer. It was really enjoyable. Arsenal dictating the play here. We're in London, aren't we? Well, we are in London for Arsenal West Ham. Arsenal need to win to keep the pressure on. Mark, will you get drunk for New Year? I don't know whether I get drunk. It's inevitable I'll probably drink. Would you rather take on a tiger in the dark around a bonfire and unlimited throwing axes, or a spotted hyena with a shield and a sword? I would take on the hyena with the shield and the sword. A tiger in the dark next to a bonfire with axes is not going to work. Whereas I think against one spotted hyena with a shield and a sword, I'd back myself big time. I think you would as well, Matt. Is Martinelli with the cross? That's going to go for a corner. Mark, what's your favourite beer? Also, if you can have any City player at United, who would it be? Landon. I'd probably take Rodri. Yeah. Facing Dexter says, can we do a poll, Mark? Solanke or Calvert-Lewin? It'd be a waste of time. Solanke will win. Massively win. I mean, I'll do it for you, but it's a waste of time. Recency bias or not, he'll win. Corner to Arsenal here. We've had 8 minutes. Cross comes in. Headed away. A super chat from Jay. Thank you very much, Jay. Thank you very much for your super chat. You can do that through the $ if you want to. Gianluca Buffon. Buffon. Lahm. Baresi. Puyol. Maldini. Keane. Beckham. Zidane. Gerrard. Cruyff. Cristiano Ronaldo. Who would you make captain? Keane, Jay. Is that a filter or is your hair that perfect? Says Tony. My hair's perfect. Well, if it's perfect, it's perfect. That's not. It's no filter. Spurs fan here. Now you know why they get the tag same old Spurs. Hoping for a comeback, says John. Solanke's won that one, 79%. If you've got any other either-ors, get the suggestions in. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped tonight. 20% off with the code FOOTY. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Fantastic products. I don't want Todibo in January to replace Varane. No, Skever, I don't. Mark's mum does not do his hair. Aman. I refute that entirely. West Ham have got a chance to whip a cross in here, and as we know, James Ward-Prowse is a set-piece specialist. In it comes. It's a good cross, and ooh, just flicked wide. Who's going to win a trophy first, England or Tottenham? I'll answer the question. Well, I think England should win the Euros, whereas I don't think Spurs are going to win anything this year. Are there any sponsorship opportunities for That's Football or United Stand coming up in the near future, says Wilkins? What do you mean? What do you want to get sponsored for? Oh, Jesus, no. What about favourite TV show of 2023, says Connor? I think my favourite TV show that I watched in 2023 was probably Succession. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I was late to the party, but I finished them all. I quite liked White Lotus as well. I watched that sort of January last year. I found that quite weird. Lana Rhodes or Riley Reid, don't know who they are, Talal, but I'm sure it's something dodgy. And Mark, favourite chocolate bar, says Michael Wright. I like Topic, haven't had one in a while. For the rest of your life, always a little bit drunk or always a little bit high. I don't know what the second one's like, hey, so I'm going to have to go with drunk. So 11 minutes gone here. Arsenal having a lot of the play. It's about getting that first goal as always. Maddison or Tielemans, who would you like at United? Madison. And that was from Finn. And Tim says, saw you in the Mason's Arms ordering a glass of red. No, you didn't. Not been in the fucking Mason's Arms for years. And I've certainly never had a glass of red wine from there. Stop making up lies. Condiment King says, I miss Fred. I loved him. I did. There we go. You heard it there first. What jumper you're wearing, Sonic? I'm wearing my Christmas Garnacho jumper, which is depicting his Garnacho ho overhead kick against Everton. Because it's still Christmas. Nice play here by West Ham. Got some decent players, West Ham, but they don't really... Well, they didn't really, against Man United, look to... What a cross by Emerson. Goal! Did it go out? Goal for West Ham! Oh my God! That all comes from an absolutely legendary cross by Emerson. It's unbelievable. An unbelievable cross from Emerson, and it causes all sorts of problems. Maybe Bowen should get on the end of that cross, but and maybe Arsenal have cleared the danger. But look at this cross from Emerson; it's magnificent. I don't know whether that ball's gone out from Bowen. It's Souček who scores. But they're not going to have the camera angle on this again. I'm sorry, Arsenal. They're not going to have the camera angle on this. It's hard to tell whether it went out. Let's have a look. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. They're going to take the time on it. Michael Oliver loves this. He stood. You can tell with Michael Oliver, he's always containing that smile. You know those people who are like trying to keep a straight face, but he's smart. He's just done a tongue in his cheek. That's trying to stop him from laughing as well. He's loving this. He's bloody loving it. He'd be loving it. Doesn't look out to me. Look at the white bit. You can see it against the post. That doesn't look out to me. Jesus or Tony, says Landon. Now it looks out. Why did they show us the first angle and then show us the second angle? I think this might get overruled. I think it looks out to me. Ooh, I tell you what, it's borderline, this. Is that actually on the line, that camera? Oh, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I pity the fool if they don't give this. There's no proof, so you've got to give the goal. I think they've got to give it. I think they've got to give it. I tell you what. I tell you what. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. To me, there's a strong case that that's out. But they haven't got the tech. It's the same as the Newcastle game. It's amazing it's happened to Arsenal again as well. That looks out to me. Now, remember, Man United had a goal against Brighton where they said it was out and they didn't have the tech. So they can say it's out. You can't... They haven't got the technology. They haven't got the technology. I think it looks out, but when they start looking at that camera from fucking space, you got no chance. Utter disgrace yet again. VAR screwing us in an important game, says Charlie. No, I thought it looked into me until they moved the ball. The first shot, it was like my bloody FIFA game. That's not over the line. That's not over the line. That's over the line. Well, why did they show us that first? You know, it's the old line again. Let's do a poll on this. Either or. Was it over the line or was it in play? Give us your thoughts. On the first freeze flame. On the first freeze frame, it looked in, but then they played the next frame and it was out. I don't know how they can say it's in because you can't even see the ball to say it's in. If that first camera angle is straight down the line and it looks like it is, I think you've got to say it's out. But you know why they can't give it out? Because Jared Bowen is covering the ball. So they're terrified. They've got to give it. They've got to say we can't confirm it was in or out. But there's no proof because Jared Bowen is covering the ball. But I think it clearly does look like it's gone out. But you have to stick to the on-field decision because there's no evidence that it's out. But it's amazing that it's happened to Arsenal twice. Olden Goldies, Laudrup or Baggio, says Kenneth. Baggio for me. Stephen says, how is it karma when Arsenal have been done by VAR like 6 times? I completely agree that the technology has to be brought into the game. It's least favourite refs, says Tom. I think Michael Oliver and Anthony Taylor are my 2. Look, it makes the game interesting. West Ham in front. No doubt about that. Forrester says, start moaning about VAR. Mate, it's not fit for purpose. I don't need to moan about it. It's like, why do people think I'm going to say something revolutionary when I started it on the podcast in August? It's not fit for purpose. It's broken. It's just how many aspects of it are broken. The red card system's broken. The handball's broken. The offside's broken. Ball in and out of play's broken. Over the line, but no evidence. I think that's the comment that's most important from Ketch. It's over the line, but they haven't got any evidence to say it's over the line, which is incredible. I think Maradona is better than Messi and Ronaldo, says Charlie. So do I agree. I actually agree. We agree. We agree. But Arsenal have taken a little bit of a hit here. They look a little bit shell-shocked. And they need to establish themselves better, quicker. Because they started off quite well, but West Ham, even before the goal, just seemed to be finding a little bit of momentum. And they've certainly maintained it here. I don't know. I don't know. It's a funny old game. This season. I did a video this afternoon talking about the handball for Man City, the penalty that Villa didn't get, the penalty that Liverpool didn't get, you know, the foul that wasn't given against Gabriel in the Newcastle game, the ball that wasn't given out in the Newcastle game. You know, I feel that the title race this year has been massively undermined already by poor officiating, you know? But Arsenal need to steady the ship a little bit here. They're on the attack with Saka. They could put GoPros along the line. It's amazing, isn't it? Why can't they use goal line technology all over the pitch, says Will. And do you think many football legends would do well in the league now, says Tom? Well, they need the fitness. Here's Jesus on the edge of the box. Nice ball out to Trossard. Good tackle by Kudus. Going to United West Ham at Old Trafford for my first game and I'm nervous, says Charlie. That's next month, isn't it? Oh, well, February. You would have thought after the Newcastle game they would get some more camera angles for ball out of play, says Cody. And Sparsh says, in your opinion, over the last 5 years, who are the players that United shouldn't have been sold, released? Mate, I'll be here all night. I wouldn't have got rid of Chris Smalling. And It's Louis says, Bowen's right leg covers the ball, but that same leg is in line with the line, so there's no clear sign whether the ball was fully out. They made the right decision. I'm an Arsenal fan. We still win, says It's Louis. Well, that's very, very mature of you, Louis. But I think the point is, you can buy a GoPro for 100 quid. Premier League's making billions. Get the fucking technology. There's 20 grounds in the Premier League. It's going to cost you about 20 grand to get the technology put in, and on a very basic level. What do you think about the Premier League referees? All you got to do is put a camera in the corner flag and the goal Post. That's all you got to do. What do you think about the Premier League referees? Won't this just lead to the belief that they give extra benefits to clubs like Newcastle or when they work in the Saudi League, says Morton? Fred and Leisha, thanks very much for your super chat. Why does the score say 2-0 to Arsenal? Very good point. Because it's not 2-0 to Arsenal. I'll tell you what's gone wrong there. I've cleared the game. There we go. We're up and running in the Brighton game as well. Let me get that back on screen for you. Double watch along, of course. Howard Webb, Lord and Saviour, allergic to technology, says Tom. Mark Price got knocked out of the dart, says Northie. If that means anything to anyone. Free kick here for Arsenal. Yeah, they've been playing for nearly 5 minutes in the second half at Brighton. Remember, we'll be watching that more exclusively at half-time in this game, but we've only had 26 minutes here. Ben Riley says, do you think Saka's overrated? Personally, I think he is. Look, I think the consistency of Saka over the last, since the Euros has been incredible. I think he's played a lot of football. I do agree that maybe it wouldn't be the case if we had GoPros on the post. By the way, the Premier League is worth 13 billion, says it's Louis. I mean, if you put GoPros in the post, you're gonna see most of the time what's happening. Mark, got a guy at work who said today that McTominay is better than Ward-Prowse, says Raz. He's a prat. You should sack him, Matt. You should sack him, Raz. John wants the FIFA streams back. When I get a bit of time, I will bring it back, yeah. Who scored the first goal for Brighton? Is it Hinchelwood? Yeah. Here's a corner for Arsenal, headed away. So Arsenal losing 1-0. I mean, to be fair to West Ham, see, this is the problem with the Premier League this season. We spend so much time talking about the officiating and bad decisions that we lose track of the build-up play. The cross by Emerson was magnificent, and if Bowen had scored the first one, it's a great goal. It's also bad defending by Zinchenko. They just showed it again on the screen. I think it's very, very difficult to call. I just think it's massively amazing that this has happened to Arsenal twice. Do you think it was a goal, Liam? Well, it's 50-50 in the poll, which I think is about right. I'm 50-50 on it. And I think the rule is that if you're not sure, you have to give the on-field decision. But the problem is we shouldn't not have the technology. You can't. The big problem that we've had this season is that we've got the best league in the world and some of the worst technology because we're cost cutting. Like, the best league in the world should have the best technology. There's no excuse. Arturo says, did you see a couple of days ago the Premier League tweeted out on the dangers of pirating Premier League games, and they've gotten a lot of criticism from it, says Arturo. No, I didn't see that. And Dennis says, will you ever add the visual footage to Goldbridge saves on Spotify? Love all your current, by the way, even though I support Barcelona. Yes, Dennis, we will be having visual content from the podcast in 2024. Early 2024. We're really happy with the way the podcast was basically a pilot, really, and we just wanted to do it audio. But it's done so well as a podcast that, yeah, we will look at that. I think Paqueta's going to come off now. He had an injury before the game, and I think he's certainly going to be coming off now. So that risk to play him, obviously, has backfired here. So it's one of those, isn't it? As a manager, player probably said, I'm all right to play because he wants to play, and then you play, and the injury gets worse. We're going to have a very long first half here because this is an injury. We've obviously got the goal over the line. We've probably only had about 25 minutes, really, even though it's 31. Podcast is back tomorrow morning, by the way, 7 o'clock. It's a really good one, actually. I'm biased, but yeah, I'm looking forward to what we've got planned for the podcast in 2024. Who wins 1v1? Aaron Wan-Bissaka on his best versus World Cup Mbappe? Samir, look, I think Wan-Bissaka in a one-on-one is good, but I think we're overhyping him a little bit. I think Kyle Walker in a 1v1 is with Mbappe has got a better chance. Martin says your podcast needs more technology. Oh, I don't even know what that means, mate. Our podcast is exactly the same as every other podcast. How's your mental health, Mark? Says Junior. Hope you're well. Not many people have that. Ask that. Yeah, it's reasonably good. A bit like a porn star's knickers, really. It's up and down, but yeah, reasonably good. I've had a good Christmas. I hope many of you are. It does fluctuate. A says, I would bet everything I own that was out. I would bet everything I own. Give up my life, my wife, my home. I will bet everything I own. I don't know who sang that, but I quite like that song. Yellow card here in the Brighton game. Someone's clutching their face. Pedro. That's not a red. Definitely not a red. Richarlison shoved him in the face. Still 2-0 in the Spurs-Brighton game. Son was looking for a penalty a few minutes ago. It was outside the box anyway. Apparently, Boy George did a cover of it. Wumsy says, I can't wait for Arteta's aftermath interview. Yeah, but the thing is, like, you know, Liverpool said they were looking into the legal side of the VAR mistake with the onside goal. Arsenal said it was unacceptable after Newcastle, but nothing happens. Nothing happens, does it? Because they know they can just... The PGMOL and the Referees Association and the Premier League, they know that, you know, just they can ride it out. Who killed Mustafa and then got eaten by hyenas from behind? Love you, Mark, says Muzab. It was Scarface. No, that's a film. It was Scar. And Mark, when are you going to do the Masked Singer UK, says Harvard. Look, I genuinely got asked about doing I'm a Celebrity. Imagine how wound up people would be about that. They just need to use the goal line technology and move the cameras to see the line across the whole pitch. It's simple, says Richie. Stretch time. Oh. Substitution in the Brighton game. Baliba comes on. I want to do a lot more lifestyle content this year. You know, I feel that going for Goldbridge, driving with Goldbridge, not enough of it this year. Martinelli! Oh, shoots wide. Christmas jumper needed of Scholes. Bollocks, says JF. And you should become a ref and do a few Sunday League games. I'd love to, Andrew. I was looking into doing it, but it's the whole filming of it that's the problem. After the disaster at Old Trafford, I thought Villa were going to drop out of top 4 race, but these results are very good for us, says the HPN. They might have a look at a penalty on Jesus here, you know. No, they're not. It's a reckless tackle on Jesus. I mean, it studs up for a start, but I think he gets the ball. Didn't see the replay, though. Can't really confirm or deny. It's not been given anyway. Needed a replay of that, says James. Yeah, didn't really get one, mate. It's a bit of a shame. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome. And it's been an enjoyable festive period of games, really. Boxing Day night, I thought Man United Villa was great. Obviously, from a United point of view, but I thought it was a good game. Villa, Everton, Man City was good until the penalty last night. And I think tonight we've had some entertainment so far. Brighton were very good in the first half against Spurs and still lead 2-0. And, you know, for me, Arsenal just haven't done enough here yet. Richarlison has just scored for Spurs, but I think that's going to be offside. I think he knows as well. He went a little bit too soon. Gunners says we've been robbed twice here. The ball was out and it was a penalty. I was looking at this Richarlison offside. Yeah, definitely. What is Spurs defence doing? I thought United was questionable. Brighton dominating the game. Also, Arsenal letting Liverpool slip away, says Slow Sports News. Look, if Arsenal don't turn these games into wins, then it's going to be very, very difficult for them because I don't think Man City and Liverpool are the teams that are going to mess this up. Tom, thank you very much for your super chat there. Mark, give us your best front three in the Premier League right now, says Farah. Salah on the right. I'd say, you know what? Honestly, I mean, look, if you're talking about form, you might want to put Solanke in there. But my best front three, Salah, Haaland, Son. What a goal! What a goal! What an absolute banger by Estepanan. That's an absolute cracker. A thunder bastard goal, that is. A rocket in the top corner. Scooby-Doo, he's not even Scottish. That's absolutely fucking fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's not in the Arsenal goal. Oh, it's not in the Arsenal game. It's Estepanan. It's an absolute banger. It's game over. Spurs are losing this game. But bloody hell. He hits this with the outside of his left foot. Oh, it's one of the goals of the season, that is. 60 miles an hour. Dip. Bend. And to beat Vicario as well. Wand of a left foot definition here. Thunderstruck. Oh, you know when you score a goal like that? I've scored plenty in the living room. He's connected with that one perfectly. Ireland's in the stream. That is what we are. What a hit. Great goal. And that'll win it. That's going to win it. 3-0 to Brighton. Hi Mark, thank you for the continuous watch-alongs you do for us, helping me going through my ACL injury. Hope you had a nice Christmas as Gianluca. You as well, mate. And Merry Christmas to you, and all the best with the recovery. And Tom says, hold on a minute, Saka hits the post, foot of the post. And a goal kick. But Arsenal are getting closer here. Tom Grant says, I loved the live shows, Mark. Was there with the missus and we didn't stop laughing from the first second. Are you hamming up your stocking on your wall? Hanging up your stocking up. Tom, it feels like a long time ago, but I bloody loved it. It was a great night. And Shahin says, Man City 4 Premier Leagues in a row or Liverpool's 20th title. I don't really need to think about that, Shahin. I don't need to think about that. Well, remember, if Brighton get a clean sheet, this is their first clean sheet of the season. This Premier League season's weird. I would have fancied Spurs to win here today because I think Brighton's team just doesn't look. You know, they've got so many injury problems. But you just can't predict this Premier League season. Connor says it can't be a coincidence that every game that there is a controversial decision, Michael Oliver is involved. We've had 42 minutes in the West Ham game, but there will be time added on. ARJ says Brighton is a very hit and miss team, Mark. Well, it's a humbling defeat for Spurs. Corner to West Ham. And Gary says, I can't believe, honestly, a better first half of the season than this. Yeah, I hope the second half of the season can live up to it. Phil Gray says, as a Liverpool fan, you are my guilty pleasure. Keep up the good work. Well, apart from Redmen, you don't have a lot of choice, do you? You should have an episode on mid-season review, says Sparsh. Yes, you're right. We should. In the box. No. Bowen went down. Well, what do you think, Spurs fan? Zuh. What are you thinking? Just end the poll, Mark. It's beyond broken, says LFC. 51% of you said... I was just waiting for it to switch, mate. We've had 10,000 votes on whether the ball was in or out on the West Ham goal. 49% of you say it was out. And it's gone back to 50-50 again now. Saka is overrated is your worst take of 2023, says A. Well, it's not mine. And you have to commit... here we go. Dylan says... You have to commit one crime, but by doing so, you ensure nobody commits that crime again. What crime do you commit? Dylan, you're just trying to get me to say something dodgy. Because you know what I would do. I would commit the worst crime to stop it happening again. But imagine committing that crime. Imagine if you said, I'm going to kill a dog, and then no dogs will ever be killed again. But you've still got to kill a dog. A lot of people are saying perjury. Why is the best answer to say lie in court? So if I lie in court, and then no one will ever lie in court again. It's a good answer because then I'm lying. Yeah, you're right. Oh, it's 4-0 to Brighton, apparently. No, it's not. It's 3-0. Only 5 minutes have been added on here. Looks to me like Paqueta's got a calf injury. I'm not a doctor. He's just got a big bag of ice on his calf. Mark, OTP kill is killing me. This is Tom. What's OTP? Spurs are not winning 3-4, Xander. Mark, can you include BARF in TOS player ratings, says Richard. No, they get enough bloody focus as they already. Look, I'd be very surprised if Arsenal don't get away back into this game, but at the moment it's, you know, West Ham have got something to hold on to. Milner's been immense tonight, says Jake. I think Brighton have been very good tonight. Spurs play again on Sunday against Bournemouth. My FPL's shit. Really shit. Giroud in goal or Onana? Right, I'm going to get rid of this poll now. I'm going to say that 51% said it was in and 49% said it wasn't. Which shows you how we need the technology. I think my total FPL points are about 40, which isn't great. Oh. Jesus. What do you think about Jesus, Arsenal fans? I personally think he should be a lot better. OTP over the phone, Mark, says Tom. Emerson is the worst player in the Premier League. Spurs fan, says Matty George. Emerson Royale? Yeah. I'd rather have a Chicken Royale playing. I think he's absolute shite. I've said that for a long time. Daniel says Jesus runs hot and cold. Can we have a look at the league table, Mark? You can. You can, Arcade, yeah, you can. I don't know why it's not... Actually, I don't know why it's not going round. Because there's 8 things on there. Could it be magic now? No. Hey, why are Man United in 7th? Fucking hell. Get rid of that. Bloody hell. What's going on here? That's got to be a penalty for Brighton. He's giving it. Yeah. 100% penalty for Brighton here. Lo Celso. Oh, just what's going on? What's going on? It ain't it. I tell you what, it ain't Ange ball. It's Minge ball. Actually, that could be a good thing. That could be. I've got that wrong. Cringe ball. And Nketiah required in this sort of game. Trossard wide, says Yusuf. But it's a penalty to Brighton. Pedro scored 7 out of 7. He's on a hat-trick here, isn't he? Half-time in the Arsenal game, by the way. But we will go to... with the wonders of technology, we'll knock it on to... we'll knock it onto that for you. My Mrs. Dom loves you. We are skiing in the Alps, says Mick. Oh, sounds great. Well, this is embarrassing for Spurs, really. 4-4 is the score. And, sorry, 3-0 is the score. It could just be about to get a lot worse. In the 74th minute, Pedro scores. Cool as you like. Cool as you like. 4-0. There'll be some git who has got Pedro as well. There'll be some git out there that's got Pedro. That's just how fancy Premier League works. He's as cold as ice, says Kyle. Spurs in the mud here. Look at that. What does it do for Spurs' goal difference? It's still better than United's. I mean, look at United's goal difference. It's bloody embarrassing. In the red. The only team in the red for goal difference. And we're in 7th at the moment. I'll tell you what. Arsenal better fucking beat West Ham. We're in 7th here. But Ange always gives it a go, mate, says Robbo. Well, there's giving it a go, and this is embarrassing, man. Liverpool with the fewest goals conceded. Isn't it a bit funny when they are one of the teams that haven't had the hardest away games done yet? Have had the hardest away games done yet, says Morton. And everyone says they can't win the Premier League because of bad defence. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. I've got him in my FPL team. I am that git, says Christopher. Well, you're not really a git. You're a genius, mate. Well done. Arsenal losing at half-time. Arsenal robbed again, says Alusti. Well, that's definitely a dodgy goal. Not going to deny that. It's been a funny old season for Spurs. I'm sure they're happy with where they are from where they were, but they've done it again, says David. Typical Spurs. But remember, this would be Brighton's first clean sheet of the season as well. No, I think Spurs are a lot better this season, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Dazzler says, what do we think of Tottenham? Well, I think it's going to get more difficult for them because they're going to lose Son, aren't they, very soon? And I presume Bazuma as well. We're in London, aren't we, Mark? Says Radical. We are in London, aren't we? Are Arsenal being robbed, says Drag. The technology needs to be there. That's the answer. That's the answer. The technology needs to be there. I mean, it's pure coincidence, but the bottom line is Arsenal maybe could lose 4 points if they don't win today on the lack of technology. And it's funny, I did a video today talking about VAR, and every week we seem to do a video about VAR talking about bad decisions from the week, and there was more than one. But this is a video in itself again, because I feel that the title race is being corrupted by bad officials. Liverpool scored a legitimate goal, wasn't given, and they lost to Spurs. Arsenal had an illegal goal given against them against Newcastle and dropped points. It's just happening. It's happening too often. I mean, look, Villa should have had a penalty against Sheffield United, not given. It's happening too much. Ash says, how long before they introduce ad breaks during VAR reviews? That will ensure every goal is checked for at least 3 minutes, says Ash. I don't think we're far off, mate. I actually wouldn't be surprised, the cynic in me, that it's being done deliberate, where they'll get to a point where they go, look, these VAR checks are taking about 2 minutes, so we're just going to chuck in ad breaks to we may as well. I can't see where that ball is. You can't tell me that's in. I don't know. Mark, my friend, has just hit 100 subs on YouTube for his United channel. His leading channel is country Myanmar. Would you be able to have him on or chat with him? Says Finn. Well, congratulate him from me. I don't know who he is, so I can't say we'll definitely have him on the show, but please do give him congratulations, Finn. What's up? Where did you get the jumper from, Mark? Says Patch Pockets. United Stand Shopify page on Twitter. We've got a goal for Spurs. So Brighton will not get their first clean sheet. I didn't see it because I was too busy talking to you. Again, Brighton conceding a goal, trying to pass out from the back. It's an assist for Son, by the way. I have got Son in my team. Lovely assist by Son. Good finish as well. Over celebration, says Keenan. He's just happy to score. Velez. Genie says, I wonder what the odds are for Spurs to get a draw from this. Well, there's a Spurs player down here. Kulusevski. It should be a red card by Dunk. It's nasty. That's a nasty tackle by Dunk. I think he'll get a red. I think that's going to be a red. We've got a yellow. I think that's a red for me. They've got to review it. He's followed. Look, I've played the game. I've played the game, and you don't tackle like that. That's not how you do it. When you leave your foot in like that, you know what you're doing, and that's just. I don't care whether you've played five-a-side or not. When you leave your foot in like that, you know you're doing it. It's a red card, that is, and that's just another example of VAR officials not knowing anything about the game. I like Dunk and I like Brighton, but that he knows what he's doing there. He's left his foot in. They're not going to give a red, by the way. They've left it. They do review yellow cards, Super, because they can be upgraded. That's what happens all the time. Look at Curtis Jones. That was a yellow card and they upgraded it. So you definitely can. No red given. Chris, you can review a yellow card. Curtis Jones was given a yellow card for Liverpool against Spurs, and VAR told him to review it, and he gave a red. His entire body and the ball are all out of the pitch, says Ahmad. That's talking about West Ham, I think. We've got two going on here. Says never a red in my opinion. Mate, that's absolutely fine. It's called opinion. I'm not the oracle. I'm not the definitive. I'm just telling you now, when you tackle, you don't tackle like that unless you want to. That's not what you don't follow through with your studs up like that, naturally. You can do, and you do it because you want to hurt the opposition. De Zerbi or Ten Hag for United, says Mehdi. I'm Ten Hag in, mate. I'm Ten Hag in. Jeannie says it's 251 to 1 for Spurs to get a draw and 501 for Spurs win. Who do you think is better, Szoboszlai or Bruno, says Neptune? Well, you know what I'm going to say. An official Apollo says we need Zinchenko carded for £187. Come on, ref, says official Apollo. Ball was in. Look at the goalpost and the ball, says Mabols. Well, it's been given as in. 4-2. 4-2, Ben Davies. The Spurs comeback is on. They've still got 5 minutes here. Now then. Now then. I think it's Brennan Johnson who whips the cross in. No, Lo Celso. Arsenal fans were really quiet when VAR benefits them. Odegaard handball, but now they're screaming, "What a load of hypocrites!" says X-Bear. This is the problem with VAR, isn't it? It needs to be everybody's problem, but they get away with it on VAR rivalry. Lesnide says if Spurs can get another one quickly, there's time. There's 5 minutes here. It was Pedro Porro with the cross. Thank you very much. They're looking at an offside here for Spurs. Anyway, it might not get given. Oh, no, they're giving it. KJ says, do you think United, That's Football, will surpass the United stand? Good question. I've never really thought about it because it doesn't massively bother me. But talking of which, we are only 30 subscribers away from 82,000. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very, very welcome. You know, That's Football's not far off 1.1 million. And the United stands just hit 1.8 million. So it's a long way. It's still a big gap. Still a big gap. Look, I make no secret of the fact that I would probably, if I stopped doing the United stand, I wouldn't stop doing That's Football. United stand is very time consuming and it's very... I enjoy That's Football. I mean, I love United stand because it's United, but it's it's demanding. I feel like United stand is my mistress and That's Football is my bit on the side. No, your mistress is a bit on the side. I've got that wrong. Well, the fact that Brighton are hanging on here is quite funny, considering that they were 4-0 up. Still got 2 minutes to go. You never know how long might be added on. If Spurs could add another one quickly, you just don't know. Flores says that That's Football is the best watch-along on YouTube. Who do you think is going to finish higher, Liverpool or Arsenal? I think if Man City didn't exist, I think this title race would be incredible. Arsenal against Liverpool. VAR must be consistent, that's all. If they allow every goal like Gabriel foul at Newcastle, then no problem. Just be consistent, says Yusuf. Imagine if Dunk had actually got the red. I think he should have been. I think he should have done. Nice ball over the top for Son. He probably should have hit that on the bounce. I think Son should have hit that on the bounce. Marma says, do you think that Villa will get top four? I don't know, you know. The thing about Villa is, and I don't know whether we've got any Villa fans listening in, but the thing about Villa that's very clear to me, and look, the great thing about doing That's Football is you do watch a lot of teams. Villa are very good at home and very, very bad. Big up yourself, mate. Nearly 4 years now as a member, says Man United Hodge. Thanks, pal. Hope you're doing well. 9 minutes have been added in the Spurs game. But yeah, Villa's problem is, at home, you put him in a title race. Away, you put him in a relegation race. Not really, but they're not good away from home. I don't think I've seen Villa away from home play anything like they do at home. 9 minutes in the Brighton game. We'll just stay. I've got both on at the moment, but we'll just stay with the Brighton game score-wise for the moment. Spurs could get back into this. Imagine if Spurs got a draw from this. Michael's a Liverpool fan and appreciates me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, mate. Please shout out Min, 100k subs for the United show. Thank you very much, Finn. One famous comeback I can remember was United coming from 3-0 down to beat Spurs in 2001. Did you watch that game, Mark? Says LFC Gamer. I didn't watch it. I was living in Ireland at the time. And I was listening to it on the radio. And I was pissed off because we were losing 3-0. And then listening to it on the radio. So I used to listen to a lot of games on the radio because we didn't used to have the coverage that you get these days. And the great thing about the radio is that you don't really know what's going on. The goals are never how you imagined them when you watch them on Match of the Day later. Newcastle, Arsenal comeback. Was that 4-0 at half-time to Arsenal? That was a good one. I'm pretty sure Spurs were beating Man City years ago, before Man City properly existed. And 10 men came back from 4-0 down as well. Corner to Arsenal. Yeah, Czech Tiote scored a great goal in that game, didn't he, Tommy? Rest in peace. It's raining in London. Bloody hell. Didn't realise that. We're in London, aren't we? Pedro's come off. He's loving it. Richard says that Arsenal were 4-0 down against Reading and won 7-5. I don't remember that game at all. Trossard's down at the moment. Time's running out for Spurs here. We've had 3 minutes of the added time, and they need 2 goals, so the clock is ticking. DM says, I think there's a storm heading for the UK. Brighton just need to keep their shape here. course, Arsenal still losing 1-0 to West Ham. West Ham will be loving this, though. They've got the lead. They've got something to hang on to. Brighton clear the ball. Off the post for Spurs. I mean, have we got the stats for this game? Because it was incredible at the start. And I think that the way it's gone second half, we've got what we got. 15 shots for Brighton, 9 on target. 14 shots for Spurs, 3 on target. I suppose that's the story of the game, really, isn't it? Mark, do you think that should have been a red for Dunk? Yes, Christian. Yeah, 100%. I've played the game. I think that's a red card. But I think you need to have played the game to know that, because he doesn't need to follow through like that. That's not how you tackle unless you want to hurt somebody. But they won't know that in the VAR room because they don't know how to play the game. Only 3 minutes to go for Spurs. Loch Ness Monster versus Bigfoot, says Pat. Well, it'd be a boring watch because neither of them exist. Martin says, will Luton stay up? Unfortunately not, because for Luton or Sheffield United or Burnley to stay up, you have to find a club that's going to go down instead of them. I can't find one. It's not going to be Bournemouth. It's not going to be Forest. It's not going to be Brentford. It's not going to be Everton. And that's the problem that Luton and Sheffield United and Burnley have. It's finding a club to take your place. And I don't see one. Jay, I'm going to have to get rid of you because you keep asking the same question and it wasn't funny the first time. So, apologies, but I'm not going to fall for your childish little stupidity of naming porn stars and asking me if I'm friends with them. Martinelli into the box. It's not going to be Spurs night. Rice, good shot by Rice. And grazes the top of the goal. But it's no goal. RD Photographer says, did the Jared Bowen ball go out? Probably. But they can't prove it. We're into the 7th minute of added time in Brighton against Tottenham. There are 9 minutes. Here's Martinelli for Arsenal. Good tackle. West Ham leading 1-0. We'll move over onto that one exclusively in a moment. It's going to be a big 3 points for Brighton. Hoyland first Prem goal. Hotter than the Sunbridge, says Oddie. Toby says, stop saying it's a red. It's not even a tackle. It was a follow through from a pass. Yeah, and if you've ever played the game, Toby, when have you ever played a pass and followed through by extending your leg fully and showing your studs? Come on. You either if you know, you know. And if you don't, you're slow. Almost an own goal by Ben White, but it will be a corner to West Ham. And one of the best corner takers in the business, Ward-Prowse, is about to take it. It's a good one. What a goal. What a goal. What, you know what? You can clip that. You can clip that. You can clip that up because that's just Ward-Prowse's brilliance. That is just Ward-Prowse's brilliance. Ward-Prowse has got better delivery than Amazon Prime. Absolutely brilliant. This is worrying for Arsenal now. Very worrying. Very, very worrying. I mean, look, give credit to the goal scorer, who I thought it was Jesus for a minute. What? It's a great goal. It's an absolutely great goal. I literally just said he's one of the best ball deliverers in the business. And that was magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. And as West Ham celebrate their second goal here at the Emirates, what's going on today, says the Mafia boy. Well, Spurs are going to lose. They're 4-2 down in the 100th minute here. I mean, how you're adding on time on top of time, by the way, is crazy. But that game's over. It's a big win for Spurs. But it's not a big win for Spurs. It's a big win for Brighton. But we've got an even bigger game going on here as we change to the scoreline between Arsenal and West Ham at the Emirates. You wouldn't have had this one down. You wouldn't have had this down on your roster today. I tell you that for free. Well, there you go. Man United are down in 7th at the moment because West Ham are winning and Brighton have won, which condenses it up around 8th again. Not good for Newcastle. Down in 9th. Don't forget we're sponsored by Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger with the lawnmower. You can get that delivered to your door. 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Fantastic products with Manscaped. Thoughts on the Fabio Silva move to Rangers, says Billy. That's an interesting one. Arteta out. Wow, this would be stunning stuff if Arsenal were to lose this. Another shot by Jesus. It's over the bar. He's going to have to make changes here. He's going to have to make changes, Simon. Robert's a Liverpool fan and he's buzzing. I mean, what have Arsenal got next? Well, Liverpool would be top of the league if it stays like this. And Man City would be only 3 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. How things can change very quickly in football. Yeah, Arsenal go to Fulham on the weekend. Then it's Crystal Palace. Then it's Nottingham Forest. Then it's Liverpool again. I don't know. There's just something about Arsenal that's just not been right tonight. It's like a lethargy, isn't it? A tiredness to them that's been hard to pinpoint. Not good enough, says Zane from Arsenal tonight. Hello, Zane. Not heard from you for a while. Hope you're having a good Christmas. Please do subscribe, by the way. We're only 20 subscribers away from 82,000. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. They're missing Havertz, says nobody. No, somebody actually did. Swizzy, they're missing Havertz. Well, if you're missing Havertz, you're in real trouble, I'm afraid. Missing Havertz doesn't normally make a sentence with "we're missing." It's normally Havertz is missing. Mark, did you ever badly want a Premier League legend from an opposition team at United? No, Nick, no, not really. Look, somebody said there'll be a club statement from Arsenal. I think Arsenal can moan about the goal that was given when the ball was potentially out. My only counter to that would be, and I think you have to be fair about this, is that whether the ball was in or out, the cross by Emerson was exquisite. And if Bowen had connected with it, it would have been 1-0 anyway. So whilst the ball might have gone out, it wasn't like West Ham didn't have a big chance anyway. The fact is they didn't defend it well. I just don't know whether Arsenal have got the equipment here to break down this West Ham side. They're certainly struggling at the moment. Funny how United horror shows appear in a better light later on, says Kenneth. Well, yeah, it's like Bournemouth, isn't it? Bournemouth have been bloody good since they beat United. West Ham beat United and they're winning at the Emirates. Rice chose the wrong club, says Mel. Saka gets blocked. And it's going to be defence against attack for a lot of this game, but West Ham do like to counter. So it's nicely poised now. What does Ward-Prowse and others have to do to get an England call up? Hendo needs to retire. Well, it's a joke, Coral. It's an absolute joke. Time Bridge, says Ryan. Yeah, I need to do that. Thank you very much. Thanks for reminding me. We are at 61.49. Jonathan says that West Ham deserve to be losing 4-0. They've been very lucky. Well, I don't think they have been lucky because the goal was from a legitimate corner and Arsenal haven't done enough. Mark, please name the team and the scorer when there's a goal for us listening to your show to follow the games. It's so confusing. Andre, sorry about that. I see what you're getting at. Mudrik's been better than Martinelli, says P for paper. Pulse says West Ham have definitely been the better side. Here's Bowen. Arsenal have got to up the tempo here. This is a half an hour game now. You're 2-0 down. We used to do this on the training ground a lot. A lot. We used to practice this a lot. Not in 11 versus 11 because you don't have enough of those players. But on a training on a Wednesday night, we'd do like 7 aside, 2-0 down, 20 minutes to turn it around. I have got Areola as my goalkeeper in FPL. Johnny says, sure you did. Johnny, this was like amateur football when I was 15. It's not impossible for anybody to go and play football, you little bitter bastard. Saliba getting bodied by Bowen, says Noel. Martinelli's coming off here for Nketiah. Arteta's obviously seen enough. Don't live your life bitter and jealous about other people. Look in the mirror and focus on yourself. You're the only one who can make you happy, mate. Don't be one of those little bitches who spends all their time trying to put others down because you're jealous. Oh, straight at the keeper. Header from Jesus. That's what Arsenal need. They just need that one goal and then you're back in it. Jesus probably should score that. Straight at the keeper. Formations are going round on the screen for you, mates. John. Arteta's getting frustrated. Ward-Prowse should walk into the England team, Mohammed. It's a joke. Absolute joke. I've been on about this for ages. How does Calvin Phillips get called up for England when he has hardly played any minutes? And yet you've got Ward-Prowse, who plays constantly and doesn't get at all into the England squad. In fact, I'm going to tell you how many minutes Calvin Phillips has played in the Premier League this season. Oh, who's that on the back post? Was it Jesus again? Yes. He's missed 2 big chances here. Ben White with the cross. Jesus on the back post. Closes his eyes. He's one of those. You'll laugh. You will laugh at how many minutes Calvin Phillips has played in the Premier League this season. You will laugh. Start taking a guess. Start taking a guess at how many minutes he's played in the Premier League this season. And yet he's been called up for every England squad. 89. 89 minutes. I'm tweeting that. You know I am. Absolutely disgusting. Arsenal are getting closer. Look, 20 minutes is more than enough time to score a couple of goals. With 1 game a week, I want Erik ten Hag to instill a play style and consistency, says Rohit. Can you name the players he should be building the team around and where to strengthen? Well, I think that Højlund and Garnacho and Mainu are important to get game time and develop. But obviously you want to be using people like Bruno and Casemiro and Martinez and Varane. Very important as well. Rashford. Football trivia. Which player has scored a hat-trick in every English league, including the FA Cup and International, says Slow Sports News. It's got to be... it's got to be Vardy. Ian Wright? I would say Vardy. So it's an English player who scored a hat-trick in every English league and the FA Cup and international. But did he say international for England? Might not be an English international. Might not be Vardy. Oh, it's Robert Earnshaw. Some people are saying it's Robert Earnshaw. There you go. It's not Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard never played outside of the bloody Premier League. Oh, another cross. Well done, Jesus. Free kick. Be an embarrassing night for Declan Rice if they were to lose this game. If you're in the league with Man City and want to win the league, you have to win games like this, says Paul. You do. You're exactly right. Do you think we should have got Ward-Prowse instead of Mount, says Lewis? Well, I mean, a wheelbarrow would have been better than Mount at the moment because Mount doesn't play. But, I mean, ultimately, I think Mason Mount's a potentially better player than Ward-Prowse. But potential isn't reality, is it? Would you rather have Bowen or Saka for Man United to seafood monster? Oh, Saka every day of the week. I don't get the Saka hate. I think he's a fantastic player, but he's probably just not going through his best form at the moment. That's a terrible, terrible free kick by Arsenal there. 20 minutes to go. Yeah, if you want to win titles, you can't lose 2-0 at home to West Ham. You can't. Substitutes wise, obviously you can see the team news going around on the screen so you can see them for yourself. But if you're not aware of the subs that have been made by the managers, we've got Nelson, who has come on for Zinchenko, and Nketiah came on for Martinelli. There has been a West Ham substitution. That was for an injury in the 33rd minute. Paqueta for Benrahma. Ross says West Ham have done brilliantly in defence tonight. Well, they've got something to hold on to, haven't they? Liverpool finally getting a result going our way, says Joe. Not there yet, mate. Still think that 20 minutes is long enough. I think Arsenal need a striker. It's not breaking news, but I think they do. I think in these sort of games, you know, Nketiah is not really going to be the answer. Of course, Liverpool are not unbeaten, but technically they probably feel that they are, considering the only defeat was that Spurs game where, obviously, they were robbed. Edwina says, West Ham are organised and clinical. Are you impressed by Alvarez, says Arturo? Yes. I was very intrigued by the Alvarez signing, formerly of Ajax. Look at this play by Bowen. He's done really, really well. And Arsenal will clear it. Yeah, I was very impressed with Alvarez when he was at Ajax. He was meant to be going to Dortmund. That fell through. I don't know why it did fall through, actually, if anyone knows. But I was very interested when West Ham bought him. And been very impressed with him. But look, West Ham bought Scamacca last year, and I thought he was going to be brilliant. So you never know how players are going to transform, which is why I never get too excited about these TikTok hipsters who tell us the next best thing who's playing for Feyenoord or, you know, Leverkusen. It's like, you don't know with the next best thing because the Premier League's very, very different. But Alvarez has been very, very good. Somebody said, can you do a poll, Mark? Well, I can. I'm just watching the match at the moment. If anyone's got any good recommendations, I'll do an either or for you. And Nketiah gets tackled there. He's got to be shooting that first time. Villa fan here. Good game on Boxing Day. Arsenal fans laughing at us in the comments, but who's laughing now, says Joe. Yeah, and I'd fancy Villa to win at the weekend with Burnley, whereas Arsenal at Fulham might be a tough game. Trossard with the shot, Areola with the save. Cross comes in. Back post, headed off the line. Trossard. Goes wide. West Ham looking to clear. 15 minutes of time to go. Declan Rice will be feeling this, you know. He won't want to lose this. I think Jared Bowen suits the striker role. Yeah, a lot of people talking about Jared Bowen. I think he suits the striker role because he doesn't get that many assists. So putting him up front, I think it works quite well. Poll to be either Liverpool or City for the title, says Chris. Well, I'll run it back for you, mate. But who wins the title? I mean, you can't rule Arsenal out or Villa yet. But we'll do yours. Can you do a poll on Mount or Ward-Prowse, please, says Lewis. I'll do it in a minute, but I struggle with the recency bias ones because it's a bit like saying Solanke or Tony, and I think Solanke would win at the moment, but Tony's not been playing. I'm worrying about losing Salah and Endo, says Joe. Yep. I mean, I think, I don't know whether it's by design, but Pep doesn't really lose anybody, does he? I don't think Man City lose anybody for the Asia Cup or the AFCON. Now, is that by design? Has Pep built a team around that? When you're rich, you can. Mark, is Michu for Swansea City the best one-season wonder? Also thoughts on Ansu Fati, says Devin. Well, I presume Fati's injured for Brighton, which is a problem he's always had. Danny says Man City don't lose anyone. Michu was an FPL legend. I remember having him in my fantasy Premier League team the season I finished in the top 100. So whatever year that was, we must be talking 2012, something like that. Robert, thank you very much for the super chat. $14 minutes to go. Arsenal will go to the end here. Smith Rowe's coming on. I feel this will be for Trossard. Bart says, what are your thoughts on Zinchenko? I think he's been off it this season. I think Zinchenko was always a little bit overrated. I thought he was a good signing for Arsenal in relation to the experience he's got at Man City. But I think he turned into a decent player from Man City into the league's best left back at Arsenal. And I don't think he was ever that. I think he's a decent left back, but I don't think he's the league's best. You know, he's not Andy Robertson. And I think some Arsenal fans sort of spoke of him like that last season. And there's no doubting he's decent, but I don't think he's one of Europe's best left backs. And I think that this season, maybe that's been realised. Good shot by Saka straight at the keeper. Very impressed with this West Ham defence, says Michael. Yeah, Areola's played well. I mean, you could argue that you could actually make an argument, and hear me out on this. When you look at the fullbacks that play for Liverpool when they're fit, and you look at Arsenal's fullbacks, Ben White's a centre back and Zinchenko's a decent left back. You could argue that Arsenal would be better off with two specialist fullbacks. Would you rather have to fight a bear with a sword or two wolves with a pocket knife? Alfie, if that sword is a samurai sword, then I will take the bear. Because two wolves with a pocket knife, I'm dead. A couple of weeks ago, Jolly said, during the United versus West Ham watch-along, you said that West Ham were playing crap this season. This aged really well. No, I didn't. I didn't say that, Jolly. You know why I know I didn't say that? Because I haven't watched West Ham enough to say that, and I wouldn't say that. I said they were crap against United. I thought they were crap against United. I think West Ham fans would agree they were crap against United, but I wouldn't have said they were crap all season. No, I wouldn't, because I haven't seen them enough. England related, Shilton or Banks, says Ray. I can't do it, Ray. I can't do it, Ray, because I didn't watch Gordon Banks, so I can't do it. You know, I said this a few weeks ago. There was a couple of people who were in their early 20s telling people about how good Scholes was compared to De Bruyne. And I was like, but factually, you're not old enough to tell us how good Scholes were. You know, you'd literally was still up your mum's chuff for 5 years of his career. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and start talking about Gordon Banks. I can't. I'd say Banks is a better goalkeeper than Shilton, but I personally can't sit there and give you a very good analysis on it, because I don't believe that anyone who's in their early 20s can analyse Paul Scholes' career. I think they can analyse highlights, but you're telling me they're getting out old footage of Scholes playing every minute, 90 minutes? No. No. It's not how it works. I think you can only judge the players that you're old enough to watch. I feel I dropped a truth bomb there because I silenced myself for a moment. 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go. Kanchelskis was a very good player. I was actually reading an article about Kanchelskis today. That's a really weird, really weird chat to pick up on, because the question was Kanchelskis or Saka, and I mean you couldn't get two different wingers from two very different periods. But Kanchelskis was very, very good. Here is Saka. He's played for that. He's played for that penalty there. He probably should book him. He's left his foot. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why Oliver's not booking him. Yeah, I don't know why he's not booking him for that. I'll clip you saying it and post it on Twitter. I clearly remember you saying it, says Jolly. Off you go then. They're gonna review this. I think it's simulation. I've played the game. I think again it's a little bit like the I mean, look, at the end of the day, the West Ham player does leave the foot there. I don't think it will get given as a pen. There's no contacts for me. Nah, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. Yeah, play on. I think it's one of those that when I played the game, you get a penalty for that and everyone gives you a high five because it's clever. But in the modern game, you're never going to get that. You're never going to get that. You simulate the contact. Time is running out here. I mean, I don't see Arsenal getting a point. Sorry, I think we can safely say Arsenal aren't going to win. How good was Litmanen? A guy at work loves him, says Jay. Yeah, good player. I mean, look, what I will say about Litmanen is he was playing in a time where I was old enough to remember him, but there wasn't enough coverage of football to be able to watch loads of Litmanen. The great thing about football now is if you want to watch every Leverkusen game, you can do it. Whereas you couldn't watch every Ajax game. Killian says, Mark, you've turned into an Arsenal fan. That's very weird, isn't it, when I've just said it, Saka dived. Nights like this are why any City fan would say Liverpool have always been the big threat from the start. They've got the experience and know how to do it, says Luke. It's a good point. It's a good point. 60% of you think that Liverpool will win the title, over 40% from Man City. Sage wishes you a happy birthday, Mark, and thanks for all you do, says Dino. Thank you very much. Happy holidays, sorry. And happy holidays to you. John Williams says, everyone loves Scholes. Great player, but he's ginger and vertically challenged, so he doesn't pose a threat to most men. Wonderful reading of the game, says John. Okay. Um, Alex says that VAR is Liverpool's biggest issue for title. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We were only 10 away from 82,000 last time I checked. So we probably hit it. But, I mean, if West Ham get a clean sheet here, it's going to be another kick in the arse for Liverpool, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing losing, but not scoring, having been behind for so long. Arsenal were never going to be a threat, especially with Arteta. Villa has more of a chance, says Qatar Play DVO. Well, there you go. Arsenal fans leaving early. It's their right. It is their right. Never quite understand it. You get one back, you're always going to get at least 7-8 minutes added on. You know, you go all that way. I don't know. Beat the traffic, I suppose. Is there a West Ham player you would pick to steal from Man United? I would have loved for us to snag James Ward-Prowse as Hunter. Well, there's plenty. What, from last summer? There's bloody loads. I'd still take Vardiel. Doku, I wouldn't have minded him. Rice, definitely. Casido, there's loads. The one thing I will say in defence of Arsenal fans going early, we're in London, aren't we? So, you know, 60,000 fans leaving at the same time to use public transport, going a little bit early. I've played the game, get ahead of the game. Oh, West Ham player, says Hunter. You know what? I'd have took a chance on Alvarez. I would have took a chance on Alvarez. Daniel says the tube is crazy. Do what I do in London. I walk a lot of it. I've walked from Marylebone to the Emirates before. It takes you about an hour. Next watch along, Mark. Definite next watch along is Man United against Forest at 5:30 on Saturday. That's definitely my next watch along. My next That's Football watch along. I'm thinking of doing Fulham Arsenal on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Thinking about it. Not 100% sure because it's New Year's Eve, but I'm thinking about it. There's not really much on Saturday. Luton against Chelsea's the 12:30 game, which is shite. And the 3 o'clock games are a bit boring as well. Liverpool Newcastle on New Year's Day, 100%, yeah. Yeah, 100%, yeah. Just lost £2,000 on Arsenal. Can you PayPal me, mate? Says Nelly. You know. And Ketia, another save. You know what I'm thinking now? You know what I'm thinking now? How many points has Areola already got? Because he must have made a few saves. Yeah, Areola's got 8 points at the moment. Clean sheets. And he's made 6 saves, which gives him 2 points. Son got an assist. Hey! Ferguson got an assist. I did not know that. Evan Ferguson got an assist. I've got him. Oh, I'm actually going to make 60 points here. 63 points. 63 points I've got. Oscar says, just because you would have taken a chance on Alvarez, I like you a little bit more, says Oscar. I never really understood why Alvarez wasn't looked at by Ten Hag or anybody else. I think he always had the profile to be a very interesting player in the Prem, and so it's come to pass. Ferguson won the penalty, says Shum. Thank you very much. 89th minute here. How long's going to get added on? I don't think it's going to matter now. This is going to be a very good point. 3 points for West Ham. They're only going to add on 5. And, of course, Man United are down to 7th now with West Ham winning. So, you know, I thought United were back in the race in 6th. That's not going to be the case. We're going to be in 7th tonight. Brighton and West Ham winning condenses it. Interestingly, for West Ham, do we have to start putting them into an equation now? Their next game is Brighton on Tuesday at home. They've then got Sheffield United away and Bournemouth. West Ham having a very progressive season this year. Considering last year they were in a relegation battle. I know they won the Conference League, but having a very progressive season. What do you think? I'm going to do a match reaction to this. I think Arsenal in crisis is too easy. Mark, what's the point? You're going to moan how Arsenal lost the league because of VAR and City was corrupting the VAR officials, says Grealish. But mate, I didn't drop out your mum's chuff. Stop acting like you know me. I'm not going to talk about VAR because West Ham have won the game legitimately. If this game had finished 1-0, then I think there is a point to be had. But at the end of the day, it comes down to technology. And West Ham have scored 2 legitimate goals. So, you know, you can't argue about it. They've scored 2 legitimate goals and Arsenal haven't scored any. So Arsenal can quite rightly moan about the technology, but they've had a long time to equalise and they haven't done it. They can't moan about VAR that much. West Ham scored their first goal in the 13th minute. You know? And the second goal was fantastic from the Ward-Prowse cross and Mavropanos header. So I don't think Arsenal can moan that much. Really. You could do West Ham are incredible as the title, Liam. Well, the one I did for Forest and Newcastle the other day was good. Newcastle battered by Wood. Do you think Sunderland could beat Newcastle in the Cup, says Lukey? I mean, I would have thought Newcastle will win that, but you know what? Newcastle not in great form at the moment. It's a good time to play them. I sort of hope Arsenal don't score now, just so I can get the clean sheet for Areola. Thoughts on Moyes, not Eric Ten Hag out fan, by the way, says M. Sati. I think Moyes has done a great job. I don't think anyone can deny that. Goldbridge Saves Football is out tomorrow morning. A new episode. 7 a.m. So if you're waking up tomorrow morning and you want something to listen to and you've not listened to the podcast before or you've been missing the podcast, I've dropped the link in the live chat for you. It's pinned. 7 a.m. tomorrow. Goldbridge Saves Football. And Declan Rice is having a fucking nightmare here. Yeah, it's 100%. It's the most obvious penalty you'll ever see in your life. He He slips and he catches Emerson, and this could be 3-0 to West Ham at Arsenal. Nobody, if this goes in, nobody, I don't think anybody on the planet has predicted 3-0 to West Ham. I don't. I'd be stunned if anybody in the world had a bet on for 3-0. It's a blatant penalty. It's not going to make a massive amount of difference. Ben Rama's going to take it. I thought it would be Bowen, actually. And he's missed it. He's bloody missed it. Raya makes the save. So it will stay 2-0. And the referee blows the final whistle. What, you know, look, this is the Premier League that keeps on giving. You thought Santa had emptied his sack. The Premier League's got plenty more to give. This is an amazing Premier League season. I don't think anybody can deny that. An amazing Premier League season that we've got. It's not amazing if you're an Arsenal fan, of course. That's not the case. But for the viewer, it's got everything. I still think we need to sort out the officiating, of course. But look at the league table as it stands. Liverpool are top, Arsenal second, Villa third, Man City fourth. Yeah, going into the new year, Arsenal were top at Christmas. Liverpool might not be top in the new year because they don't play till Monday. We could be back in a situation where it's Arsenal if they beat Fulham on Sunday afternoon because they play first. But yeah, you can't be dropping points at home to West Ham if you want to win the league. That's a big blow for Arteta. I'm going to go and do a match reaction now. It'll be up in about 10-15 minutes. Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. Make sure you subscribe to That's Football. We're growing all the time. It's a massive community where everybody's welcome. Take care. You've been brilliant tonight, and I've really enjoyed it the last couple of nights. And I will see you a little bit later. Thanks for watching.